The Spurs, in pursuit of a top 10 pick in Thursday's NBA draft, have spoken to at least 3 teams about a possible trade involving LaMarcus Aldridge. That's according to ESPN's Ramona Shelburne and Michael C. Wright. Aldridge receiving widespread criticism for his play in the 2017 postseason, where he averaged a career-low 16.5 points per game. Stephen A., your reaction to this news?
I don't want to hear anything from LaMarcus Aldridge. I spoke to some people last night. Folks in San Antonio are incredibly plugged into what's transpiring with LaMarcus Aldridge. From what I'm told, this is an individual that is very, very unhappy in San Antonio right now. He feels that the Spurs have compromised him, his productivity. They have hurt his game. And as a result, he wants out, Max, and he wants out in the worst way. He wants to be gone. Here is my response to that. He's got a lot of damn nerves. I don't have any problem with what I've seen the San Antonio Spurs in terms of their utilization of LaMarcus Aldridge. Popovich gives him the ball in the post. He can't make shots in big moments. He gives him the ball on the wing. He can't make shots in big moments. He did have 2 really good games against Houston in the Western Conference semifinals. There is no doubt about that. But outside of that, particularly when Kawhi Leonard went down, LaMarcus Aldridge was nowhere to be found. He was no factor in that 4-game sweep at the hands of the Golden State Warriors. You could blame system. You could blame lack of personnel. You could blame everything. This dude was a perennial 21-point-per-game scorer in Portland. Averaged better than 23 points his last 2 seasons in Portland. Was an all-star, and we all looked at him and said, this dude you've got to go out and get. I was sick to my stomach when I found out that James Dolan nixed the deal that Glenn Grunwald had potentially on the table that could have landed LaMarcus Aldridge, but James Dolan made him go out and grab Andrea Bargnani instead of waiting for LaMarcus Aldridge.
Bargnani instead of Aldridge is idiotic.
Okay, so what happens? We understand that. But in the end, since LaMarcus Aldridge has been in San Antonio, he's had some really good and really big moments, but rarely has it been when it has counted most. He has come up small. I am not saying he can't play. I am saying in big moments, he hasn't been what he was supposed to be, and that is not Greg Popovich or R.C. Buford's fault. He has been put in good situations. He hasn't gotten it done. And I don't care what he says about blaming the Spurs system. It's not their fault.
I always thought LaMarcus Aldridge was a dead-end player. Dead-end, don't want him on my team.
Okay.
And I will tell you why. I thought it was a mistake for the Spurs to get him. He's not a great defender, you know, and you know what his offense reminds me of? The second half of Patrick Ewing's career. Take away some of the threes that he's recently developed. The second half of Patrick Ewing's career, the fadeaway jump shot, Stephen A., but minus the defense and minus the real strong inside game. He has some length, which he is useful on defense at times, and he can score from mid-range like it's no one's business. It's not a mid-range game anymore. I suppose the mid-range can be undervalued to the point where if you're really good at it, you know, there is actually some value there because no one's going to defend it. But I always thought he was a dead-end player, and part of the reason is because he's really, really good. He's one of these guys, kind of like Dwight in recent years, Stephen A., back when he was really good. He's really, really good, and he thinks he's great. And the irony is that thing in him that believes he's great is probably what made him so good in the first place, right? The fact that he has the kind of ego that wants the ball. That's good for him, that he has that kind of sense that he's the man. That's what makes him better than most. But he's ultimately not great. Can't be the best player on a championship team, obviously. But that got in the way with playing with Damian Lillard, apparently. And now it gets in the way of playing in San Antonio with Kawhi Leonard. Think about Chris Bosh for a second, Stephen A. When Chris Bosh was getting 20 and 10, everyone knew he was one of the better players in the league, or one of the best. Then he goes to Miami, sacrifices the stats, still plays defense still plays on both ends of the court, does everything the team wants him to do, is part of the nucleus of a championship team. And all I used to hear on the radio in L.A. when we would talk about the Heat was, oh, Kevin Love's better than Chris Bosh. What, are you insane? Are you guys watching the games? Oh, Kevin Love puts up 26 and 12. Who cares what they put up? Watch the games. And LaMarcus Aldridge is caught up in the mentality of he needs his numbers instead of he needs to be a great player. Here's the interesting thing now. He's a distressed asset, right? His trade value is lowered because everyone knows he wants out. What other distressed asset is there on the market right now?
Melo.
Who else? Paul George, right? Paul George, people know he wants out. Melo, people know he wants out. Either one would be an outstanding fit on the Spurs. The Spurs might be able to flip LaMarcus Aldridge into something that has them actually making gains on the Warriors in this offseason.
If I'm Carmelo Anthony, I consider going to San Antonio. I feel is willing to take LaMarcus Aldridge because Carmelo Anthony will instantly be in title contention because him with Kawhi. But that is the ultimate thing. That is the ultimate indictment against LaMarcus Aldridge. Kawhi Leonard and LaMarcus Aldridge were supposed to be the cornerstones of this franchise. Kawhi Leonard has lived up to his billing. LaMarcus Aldridge, Game 2, when they lost by 36, 8 points on 4 of 11 shooting. Game 4, when they lost by 14, 8 points on 4 of 11 shooting. This is LaMarcus Aldridge in a Western Conference Finals.
Any chance you get Paul George for him? Any chance you put Paul George with Kawhi Leonard?
We
have Aldridge and Miles Turner in the front court?
I consider that a long shot, but it can't be ruled out.
Oh, if they got Paul George, that is serious business.
But they only would have him for 1 year, San Antonio.
See what you can do.